So, are you ready to start video number 27 in Reading of Molasses Moon? Ready or not, I suppose. I'll show you what I'm reading from here. Anybody who happens to start out with this one. This is a little Amazon Kindle reading device. Kindle Fire. And you can turn it around and have the words go different directions, of course. Where we left off yesterday, we read all the top part here. See if I can make it get clearer. Okay. We read some kind of interesting, at least to me, strange thoughts yesterday relating to a whole new addition to the set of quantum physics so far. Okay. And I left off yesterday with the sentence, "That's enough for one day on a soapbox out in the ozone." The point of the insecurity issue, though, based on whatever Genesis story, is we haven't come of age. We have a lot to learn and power to gain. Oh dear, I'll bet that scares the hell out of you. Personal power horrifies most of us more than anything. It's interesting that what an insecure person needs most is personal power. Yet that's the last thing he'll allow himself to have. And it's the first thing he wants to have someone have over others. He wants some wiser other or group to have power over us all. Insecurity. I wonder if it's the culprit. The Bland Brigade. Why would anyone want to decrease the power of life? Insecurity? Why do some bureaucrats love to rigidly enforce narrow rules? Insecurity? Why are other bureaucrats more flexible? A sense of personal adequacy? What will an insecure person do if you catch him in the act of insecurity? Probably depends on how insecure he is. I notice my own insecurities. I try to laugh at them rather than hide them or hide from them. I remember when I was first able to admit I was insecure. I wondered why I was letting myself be that way and what caused it. But I'm Wonder Girl. No, as you know, I'm 46 years old. That was back in 1994. I'm a 46-year-old, half-baked white witch. Maybe if I were a whole wheat witch, my problems would flush better. I finally decided back in my youth I didn't have to be insecure, especially since I didn't really know what it was, and pronounced myself secure. Surprisingly, that pronouncement went a long way to set self-acceptance and inner strength. It may be time to renew the pronouncement. One of my happiest days was spent with an enlightened female acquaintance who I noticed, to my delight, laughed at her insecurities. I had always been ashamed of mine. That day I saw what they were, and that they could be fun once you accepted them. And once you did that, they changed from insecurities to something else. I haven't named that something else yet. I might leave that up to you. Note, though, that having, noticing, and laughing at insecurities is different from being insecure. I'd get off my soapbox now, but the floor is scattered with prickly goads. It's not a very appealing step down. What an image. Me, a mountain goat, marooned on a soapbox. But you might be waiting for me to explain my basis for cue switching, or my numerological basis for cues, or, hell, I can't even nutshell it. I'm not getting off the soapbox yet, though. Maybe I should just start talking from the vantage point of this box at the beginning. That was when I noticed that while my Q formula is a 6, the word Q, spelled Q-U-E, is a 7, and the letter Q is an 8. Oh dear, I thought. How can I explain these seeming inconsistencies? I was in bed at the time, soaking up the morning light. Rain buzzing around the bedroom. I don't remember why I didn't get up. Maybe I didn't want to disrupt my train of thought or lose it. I might have been better off to go right upstairs to Gemstar and begin typing. But I wanted to go to breakfast with Tom. It was probably a weekend morning. At first I moaned that the letter Q and the word Q and that my formula for Q should have the same numeric value. Then, on second thought, I realized that the letter, word, and formula were not of the same base. I could see that, but knew I'd have a hell of a time explaining it so it could be understood by anyone else. That was the morning I tried to explain to Tom over breakfast. We would have both had indigestion if I hadn't smoothed things over and changed the subject to a track we could both ride comfortably. That's usually a true railroad track, since Tom and I both love trains. Okay, the letter Q belongs to one group. Say apples. The word Q belongs to another group. Say oranges. My formula for Q belongs to who knows what, maybe kiwi. Did you know there are more than 26 dimensions, according to Einstein? Each dimension is like a different base. There are different bases for realities, too. I can see this isn't getting me anywhere. Maybe I should drop it for a while. On Tom's head. He's downstairs taking a shower. We're going to the Capri for dinner. Maybe a hot Italian sausage sandwich will spice up my memory. I did understand the switching bases idea that morning, but the lightning logic is slipping my mind. I need a new clutch. I wonder what UC's doing. Probably out to lunch, playing chess. I'll tell you who I think he might be playing chess with. I would tell you who I think he might be playing chess with, but it'd make no sense until you read my Sun-Moon Quartet. Yes, I'm back to plugging. So hold that thought and I'll be back. Later, dude. Asterisk. Time passing. I love those asterisks. They prolong the inevitable long enough to give you a breather and me time to think. Well, more like time to clear my thinking. I can think unclearly anytime. No problem. I'm no fool. Any brain activity is better than none. Brain dead isn't useful. Speaking of thought, non-thought, and lack of thought, today is April Fool's. Fools do have interesting ways of manipulating their own brains as well as other people's. It's 8:47 in the morning, and I have my coffee right here. but I haven't had my egg sandwich yet, nor have I gone to the post office. As you might remember, it's too early for the mail to be out. 9:30 is the time. For all good men to come to the aid of their country. What I forgot when I was fretting responses on that day from the holiday hitman was that April 1st this year is Good Friday, as well as All Fool's Day. Good Friday is significant in most of my fiction. All through Quartet Moon, Jennifer attempted resurrection without prior crucifixion. Mostly she was hoping to keep the perpendicular knot from crossing a horizontal publishable. She wasn't fully successful. So here we have the symbolic day again. Time does such a good job of cycling, doesn't it? Well, if Jennifer were living my life now, she would certainly have had her night of anxiety before the big event. It was the morning that was bad. The afternoon and evening were heavenly. Remember the submission I made to Diane Reverend, editor-in-chief of Villard Books? It was sent February 22nd. A copy of its cover letter was merged into Chapter 1. That was the last manuscript sample of my fiction sextet sent out since I started Molasses. Well, yesterday morning, the last day of March, in the year of 1994, my 9x12 white SASE returned. Tom and I were on our way to Colorado Springs when we stopped en route to check the P.O. box. It took most of the 45-minute drive for me to cover the back of that envelope with angry scribbles. I even wrote under the flap. What else could I do? Both my files were full of notes, front, back, inside and out. Back to the present, abruptly for a minute. I have my Velveeta garlic salted egg sandwich now. Want to join me? You'll have to get your own BYOES. I'm not good enough at matter manipulation to send you one, yet. So now I'm fueled enough to go back to yesterday morning. After finishing my scribbling on the Villard SASE, I was overwhelmed with my worst qualm. None of my work is any good. That's why I'm having such a hard time getting it read. Furthermore, I'm not a good writer, and never will be, no matter how hard I try. To fill in the mood background, I'll copy here what I scribbled on the SASE. In quotes. Some days I feel like I could just get bitter and quit trying to accomplish anything. Quit writing altogether. Just go from day to day, taking what's there, doing what little things I can. Who am I fooling? Could I quit writing? If I really let go of the pieces of my mind at some of the rejections I received, you'd not only believe, you'd know I'm a witch. And worse. But I have a small degree of self-control. The Reverend, the Italian preacher, as Tom named her, returned my submission with a dear author, the editors, unsigned. Damn it, damn it, damn it. She didn't even have the guts to write a real letter. We receive so many submissions we must limit the number of books we acquire. Well, hell. It's not my turn yet. Damn. Sigh. This is all still in quotes on that envelope. Sometimes I hate this. And that's the end of the quotes of all the stuff written on the envelope. Or at least, yeah, I guess that's it. When I started writing Collecting History, the first words of the manuscript were, I hate this. I was referring to my situation, a la Jennifer, of writing without publication or pay. After the billion revisions and the doubled length, and after collecting history had become Morning Comes, the first words had changed to pink gravel, blossomed dust clouds. Tom liked the first version better. I can understand why. Yet I like my final version best. Though I did lose some quick and simple spontaneity in the revised version, what I gained in depth and philosophical sophistication was worth the loss of a fast, simple, delightful read. Well, on second thought, I think the manuscript is still delightful, and the simple spontaneity is still there. But it's laced within levels of deeper meaning, achieving a more literary style. It's interesting how people's tastes vary. My Aunt Mary liked collecting history better than The Rose and the Pyramid. Catherine liked The Rose much better than collecting. No one's read all of the final version of Morning Comes, except me. I've read it so many times my head's still spinning. I love it. I wish I could read it fresh without having written it, though I'd never give up the honor of having written it. I'd feel like Donna, the former waitress of the Iron Horse, then the Husky, alias the Good Times Cafe in Morning Comes. After reading the last page of Collecting History, she groaned and shouted, "Oh no!" We were with my mom in her '67 Green Ford Ltd. at the time. That was February 1986. Headed for Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was driving. We were planning to surprise the editor of Sunstone Press with the manuscript, see if they would look at it for publication. That escapade was collected in Full Moon Rising, which was originally Collecting History too. Shocked when Donna's sudden loud groaning exclamation broke the hypnotic drone of the highway under the wheels of the Ford, I nearly had a heart attack. We all ate eggs and sausage for breakfast that day, not long after the "oh no" scene. What gave me the fright was I didn't know Donna had reached the last page and was complaining in sudden violence that she had finished the reading. She started right then, back at the beginning. After she explained why she had scared the hell out of me, of course. I had thought she was complaining about something she didn't like in the manuscript. Okay, I guess that's another good pausing point. A long time ago. It's kind of fun reading this book, though. Seeing where I am now and where I was then, and how I kept going. The life of a writer. I'm beginning to think if you really are one, you ride a real, roller coaster of doubts and thinking you're the greatest and thinking you're nothing. But when you look back, at least when you look back, it's sometimes fun and funny, and sometimes not. So anyway, we'll see you next time.